guys, welcome back to Ravers Mead. This is not the video I had intended to be posting today. So today's video was supposed to be, it was supposed to be a show vlog because we took Blue to his first showing show post-COVID this weekend just gone. So that's what this video was supposed to be. But, as you may have guessed from the title, things didn't quite go to plan this weekend. Being honest, it was an absolute disaster. And to top it all off, we somehow managed to screw up getting footage of the weekend as well, which really sucks. So, I mean, I haven't even got... I've got literally nothing to show you guys. I've got a little snippet of us bathing him and getting him ready. I've got a couple of photos of him in the lorry, and I think I may have a tiny short video I took on my phone of us stood by one of the show rings waiting. And yeah, so that kind of sucks as well. So what I'm going to do is I will give you guys an update on what happened this weekend, and then I will go ahead and try and string together the few photos and tiny snippets of video that I have at the end of this video for you. Yeah, it's just one of those weekends, I think. So yeah, we took Blue to Cricklands this weekend. He was entered in a TGCA in-hand class and a chaps in-hand class. They were both qualifying classes. Now, we weren't particularly interested in the chaps class because we're not registered with them at the moment or anything like that. It was an open class, so we just entered it because we could. But the TGCA class was why we went, because it was a toys qualifier. And the plan was to try and get him his ticket to the championships. And what basically happened is, I'll try and keep this short because otherwise I feel like I'm just going to go off on one ranting and moaning about the weekend. So what happened is, we arrived at the showground. Our group of classes were due to start at 2 o'clock. We arrived at the showground about an hour before everything was due to start. And I was wandering around trying to figure out where everything was, and trying to figure out where the arenas were, where, warm-up areas were, where the secretary's booth was, all that kind of stuff that you have to figure out when you get to a new venue. And as I walked up around the corner and spotted the arenas, I could see lots of gypsy cobs in the show ring. And my heart sank a little bit, and I thought, well, that can't be our class, it's only 12:30, our classes don't start until 2 o'clock. And then I heard on the megaphone thing somebody say that they were calling the championship for our set of classes to the ring, and that's why all those gypsy cobs were there. So they basically changed our class times. We didn't know. There was nothing on their website. They didn't put anything up on their Facebook or anything like that. Yeah, apparently they changed it a week before the event. And I mean, I spoke to someone in the secretary's booth, and they seemed very aware of the fact that their website was wrong, which ticked me off significantly, as you can imagine. And she also said that they'd sent out emails to people to notify them, but that, a large portion of those emails failed to send again, which significantly ticked me off because, why didn't you try again? Or, send the competitors a text message or anything, just... But anyway, let's not dwell on that. It's done. So yeah. We missed our classes because they decided to run them earlier than what it said on their website. And then we failed to get any footage of the day. I mean, to be honest with you, at that point, I was so upset and annoyed that I didn't even want to get him out of the lorry. I just wanted to go home. Luckily, it was such a long walk from the arena to the car park area that by the time I'd got back to the lorry, I'd cooled off a little bit, and we had a look at the show schedule for the rest of the day, and there were a couple of classes that he was eligible to enter. Luckily they were taking entries on the day for this as well, so we were able to slip him into a random class. We only did the one in the end, and that was basically because we ended up waiting around for so long that I didn't feel it was fair on him to ask him to wait around for another hour to do another class. Like, it was just, I mean, we stood by the arena for about 4 hours waiting for this class to start, which was a big ask of him. He's not been anywhere in years. This is our first showing show post-COVID, which is very different to dressage and show jumping and anything like that. I mean, when you go showing, there is always a lot of waiting around. The way they do it is they'll sort of split classes into groups, and they'll say, right, that group, the first class for that group will start at, for example, 12 o'clock, and then each class will run successively after that as and when they finish. So basically how you figure out when your classes are starting is you just keep watching. You keep asking people which class has just gone in, and you just have to play it by ear and figure it out as you go along. And obviously, because it was such a long walk, it was about a 20-minute walk from the arena to where we were parked, and we had no other way of knowing what was going on, so we just got him ready and walked over to the arenas and just waited, basically. I was a little bit annoyed about that as well, because when we went over, they actually had called those set of classes to start, and then when we got to the arena, everyone was so confused because a different set of classes had started in the arena that we were meant to be in, which then delayed us by about another hour and a half. It was just, oh, seriously guys, it was just one of those days. It wasn't just us that got caught out. I mean, as I was wandering around, I could hear people in warm-up arenas that were getting really frustrated because they couldn't figure out what class was going in. You know, they thought they were meant to be going in, and then a different class was going in, and it was chaos. Lots of other people missed out on the qualifying classes that we went to do as well. We actually got speaking to a couple of people that were really, really nice. They were showing a gorgeous coloured stallion, which my mother drooled about significantly. We've actually Facebook stalked them because he's still a covering stallion, and she's interested in maybe getting him to cover our mare Nelly, so could be a foal in the near future, we shall see. So yeah, that was a good point from the day. There were positive points of the day. Like I said, I'm going to leave it at that for the disastrous drama bit, because otherwise this vlog is just going to be negative, and I'm just, yeah, it's done. We have to accept it and move on. So yeah, we actually ended up entering a sort of generic coloured class in the end with him. It was a really, really mixed class. There were loads of like hunter types. There was a few show ponies in there. He was the only Blagden who came forward. Most of them were like piebald, skewbald. I think there was like a dun in there. I mean, I would show you if I had the footage, but I don't, because we screwed that up. Seriously guys, not a good weekend. Yeah, and it was a really big class. I think there were 17 put forward, and Blue, bless him, after standing around for 4 hours, no food mind you, like we were away from the lorry, we had no food, there was no grass because it was all on like surfaces, so he stood patiently with me and waited for 4 hours. He was a gentleman, like genuinely, he was so good. He walked across the showground on a loose rein. There were horses freaking out everywhere, youngsters screaming and bucking. People were getting bucked off in the arenas as well, which was crazy. And he just stood there and took it all in, which was amazing. Like, I'm so proud of him for that. And yeah, so we went into this random showing class. 17 came forward. He was as good as gold. He was a bit fed up and tired by that point, so he did get a little bit fidgety in the lineup, which, do you know what, I didn't even care about at this point. Like, honestly, by that time of the day, I was just so over it. I just didn't care anymore. I really didn't. We broke all the etiquette rules, we really did. I was talking to the guy with the lovely stallion who happened to be in the lineup next to us, like the whole time the judge was judging the rest of the horses, and by this time, Blue had been naked for hours and hours and hours, so he was getting itchy and starting to scratch everywhere. So there I am, stood in the middle of a show ring, you know, scratching Blue's backside, and he's there pulling his funny lip face, and it's just, oh my god, not not how to show your horses. It's probably good I didn't get any footage actually, because that would have been a lesson in not, you know, in how not to show your horse in the show ring, basically. But yeah, he put off a nice little show. He was a little bit sluggish by that point, which I put down to him being tired and fed up, but it actually turned out he was bursting for a wee and a poo. As soon as we got back out of the arena, he couldn't hold it in any longer. He had the biggest wee ever, and I felt so sorry for him because he'd been holding it in all that time. But yeah, he actually came 6th in a group of 17. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 other traditional cobs in there, but the rest of them were all like the hunter types and show pony types and things like that. So he did really, really well. Like, honestly, when I was watching the judge call the placings, I thought we had no chance, because he clearly had a preference towards, you know, a very particular type of horse, which Blue is not. So I was really chuffed with him for getting 6th place in that. He did really, really well. And yeah, that was pretty much the end of our day. We were planning on doing a second class. There was a in-hand driving horse or something like that we were going to put him in, but he was fed up by then. I was beyond fed up by then, as was Mum, and we just decided to call it quits, and we went and we left at that point, basically. Yeah, it was just a messed up, annoying, frustrating day. So, like I said, there are positives to take away from it. Our day did not go in any way to plan. The other positive to take from it, I suppose, is that Blue looked amazing. I mean, he was probably the cleanest I've ever managed to take a horse out before, which was amazing. So I've nailed that finally. And he was impeccably behaved, and we actually had everything really well organised. Had they run the classes to the times that they'd specified on their website, we arrived like bang on time when we wanted to. We had plenty of time to get them unloaded, get them tidied up and everything like that. So actually, from an organisation point on our part, like, that was really, really good. We did really well. And yeah, he did really well in his class. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's you guys up to speed on our little adventure this weekend. I'm sorry I don't have anything really interesting to share with you. I am going to go ahead and insert the few bits of footage and photos that I did manage to get. I'll stick those in now for you. And you can have a little look at those. I haven't actually had a look on the website yet to see if the photographer's got any photos of us. It's a really weird setup, so you basically have to pay before you can even look at the photos. I didn't see a photographer all day, so I don't even know if they got any photos of me and Blue. So I'm a little bit peed off that I have to pay before I even know if there's any photos of them on there, so I might email them about that and find out what the hell that's all about. Because, I mean, to be honest, I'm not having the best feelings towards them at the moment because of the crappy weekend we've had, but I would like to see if there are any decent photos of him. If there are any, I'll go ahead and stick them in this little bit at the end here for you so you can have a look. And yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. Enjoy my pathetic offering of footage from this weekend, and I will see you in our next video with hopefully something a bit more positive and happy to share with you all. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.
Blue, you're all blue! That's funny. Well done to you, mate. Blue!